Hi, my name's Mark Eates. I'm the Manager of Marine Services at the Department of Fire and Emergency Services in Western Australia. Today I'm going to be talking to you about our Radio over Internet Protocol, or ROIP, project. Radio over Internet Protocol, or ROIP, is technology that connects different pieces of equipment. In the case of our project, it is going to connect our marine VHF radios to a microphone and a laptop for a user to access those radios. This project was initiated with feedback from volunteers and the boating public, who identified that there's many big gaps in radio coverage along the state of Western Australia. And it was thought that with radio over Internet Protocol technology, in areas of the state where there's not many people and people aren't available to monitor radio traffic, we could do it from a centralised location where there was people. Additionally, ROIP technology not only allows us to monitor remote radios, it allows volunteers to have greater flexibility in how they monitor radios at their own base. This technology doesn't require a volunteer to physically go to a radio room to monitor radios. Of course, they still can, that will be an option, but if for some reason, be it accessibility or in the recent times buildings were closed due to COVID restrictions, we would still be able to monitor because people could monitor from home or other places. All that's required is an internet connection, a laptop and a microphone, which is what the project is going to deliver. So expanding on what the project is going to deliver, it's going to deliver technology, most of which will be transparent to the volunteer. There'll be a cabinet with internet and ICT technology within the Marine Rescue Group, but the user will only need to access a laptop and a microphone, and that will allow radio monitoring as happens now, but you'll be able to do it from any location that has an internet connection. Some of the benefits of this technology is going to be flexibility for volunteers. They don't necessarily have to go into a group base if they don't want to. It's also going to allow greater radio coverage across the state, so the boating public can feel a bit more assured that when they log on, they'll be heard somewhere across the state and their travels will be monitored. It will also allow volunteers to support other volunteers. As an example only, if volunteers weren't available to monitor radio traffic at Hopetown this weekend, someone in another town would be able to do it for them if they had the availability. All that's required is the laptop, the microphone and an internet connection. DFES has undertaken a lot of background work and research towards the end goal of this project. The first thing that we did was appoint Jo Olsen as a project manager, and I'm going to introduce Jo now, who'll go through a little bit more of the work that she's undertaken, where we're at and what we're planning in the near future.
Hi, I'm Joanne Olsen and I'm pleased to be working with Marine Rescue on the Radio over Internet Protocol project. Over the last 6 months that we've been working on the project, we've spent a lot of time researching what was already in use within emergency services and also within WAPOL. We found that the Omnitronics hardware was universally reviewed as being one of the best out there, and it has the benefit of also being a local company who's based here in Perth. We've decided to go with Omnitronics, and we're looking at the OmniCore software because it gives us our best opportunities around centralised monitoring, which Mark will be talking about in more detail. We have just started the procurement process, so we're going through now and using existing contracts that are within DFES that will allow us to speed up the buying process and get our equipment into place much sooner. Once we establish our equipment needs, we're looking at having the towers, the actual cabinets which contain most of the hardware, built here in Perth and commissioned and tested before we send them to site. That means everybody gets a setup that's exactly the same as their neighbours, and we know that everything has got the best chance of working when it arrives at your site. An additional reason for staying with the Omnitronics equipment is the fact that not only is it in use within DFES, but it's also already in use and very successfully within 2 of our own marine rescue groups here in WA.
I'd like to talk a little bit about centralised monitoring of radio communication in Western Australia. The technology that DFES is planning to bring in has the potential for one group or more than one group to centrally monitor radio traffic across the whole state. It is planned that this centralised monitoring will be in an opt-in system. Groups will not be forced to hand over their radio communication monitoring for their local area to any other group or any other entity. The technology, however, allows centralised monitoring if it is required. Those groups that are functioning really well, have lots of volunteers and can safely and easily monitor traffic in their local area, can continue doing so. But the technology will allow us to centrally monitor on those times when groups aren't available.
In terms of what's coming next within the project, the main focus is around communication. We need to get your feedback and your input as to how a lot of the elements of this project unfold and what decisions are made about what we do next. We will be having an in-person meeting with the Metro groups very shortly, and we have a series of webinars and forums planned for our regional members so that you'll be able to participate and share your views around the decisions that will shape the operation of this system in the future.
In conclusion, this project is well and truly underway. The project overall is going to enhance radio coverage across the state, which can only lead to safer outcomes for the boating public. It will also add a degree of flexibility to volunteering in that you don't have to go into a group if you really can't to monitor radio traffic. This is an exciting project that is going to modernise radio communication for the boating public in Western Australia. We need volunteers to provide input. Volunteers are crucial to this project. Volunteers are the facilitators of the log-on, log-off system that utilises radio communication. At any time over the next few weeks to next few months, if you feel you have some input that would assist with the project, please make contact with Joe, the project manager. We need your feedback to make this project as good as it can be. I look forward to working with all the volunteer groups across the state as we bring in this initiative for the safety of the boating public of Western Australia.